Well, I first came to Venice in 1987. I've been coming back, that's over 30 years, ever since. And on this tour, I want to show the traveller, the tourist, the voyageur, something more profound about the city, which are the hidden parts, which still exist despite the encroaches of mass tourism. So on this tour to Venezia, Venice and Trieste, we're also going to visit this wonderful palazzo called the Palazzo Fortuné, named after the designer, theatrical set designer Mariano Fortuné, and his wife Henrietta, which he actually bequeathed to the city of Venice through his wife in the 1950s. And Mariano Fortuné was originally from Spain, but he grew up in France and then was attracted to Venice as a sort of city for bohemians and romantics. The city has always attracted these sort of people. So now we're in the Palazzo Fortuné, one of the places you're going to see on this tour of Venice. And here we can see that Mariano Fortuné was also a set designer. You can see some of his set designs here. Very successful, by the way, and also a painter, frescoes. And today the museum is also a contemporary art space, so very avant-garde. If we look around here, we can see the use of this space in a different manner. The Palazzo Venere di Leone, the Palazzo Peggy Guggenheim, which is actually also called the Palazzo Non Finito, and it's one of the most important private collections of art that was collected by the very eccentric but very innovative Peggy Guggenheim, who came to live here in about 1959. One of her great advisors was the French collector and artist Marcel Duchamp. One of the most interesting museums we're going to visit on this tour is the Museo Revoltella, named after the financier Pasquale Revoltella, and he was one of the most authoritative figures in the economic and political world of Imperial Trieste, and he arrived with his family in 1797. He was also very important in financing the Suez Canal, and today in Trieste we can see his original house, at least most of it, and a dynamic new modern art gallery. So we have this wonderful contrast between the commercial world and its fruits and its riches and the contemporary interpretation of this old bygone world of Trieste. In 1859, Baron Pasquale Revoltella invited the Archduke Maximiliano of Habsburg for the inauguration of this townhouse. The Archduke Maximiliano was also the person who constructed the Castel of Miramare, which you'll also be seeing on this tour. So here we are at the statue of James Joyce in Trieste. This is his actual height, and he came to live here first in and with various periods where he left and came back. His final time here was in 1990. He found the city very changed and then left. He created some of his best works in Trieste. Ciao, Jack. Ciao, James. So one of the most remarkable places to visit when you're in Trieste is the Castel del Miramare, which is where the Austro-Hungarian monarchy chose to spend their time by the sea. But in actual fact, it was Maximiliano of Habsburg who came here initially with his wife Carlotta, and they built this escapist palazzo or villa, which we're going to go and see on the tour. we can see the original interiors, which have been lovingly restored by the Italian state, and the whole place is splendid. It's also a fantastic park, and the area around the castle is protected area for wildlife. An absolute gem to see when you're in Trieste on this tour. One of Trieste's beautiful cafes, Cafe Tommaso, where we're going to come and have some aperitifs on the tour. We're going to try the typical wines of the region. Also, these cafes were important for writers. James Joyce came here in 1907, and the first thing that happened to him was he got into a fight with some English sailors, and he had to be rescued by the English consul here in Trieste. He later wrote for this newspaper, which is still in existence today, Il Piccolo, the little one. And he actually was asked to write about the situation in Ireland. And you'll see that the two cities, Venezia, Venice, Trieste, they somehow go together in this trip, which will take you from the lagoon of Venice and its beauty by train right up to the foothills of the Carso and the border. Trieste, which has the largest piazza facing the sea in all of Italy. Then we will have the inclusion of local guides who will bring us into some of the city's unknown areas to the tourists. We will be able to see walk in the footsteps of Joyce, of course, visit the museum and enjoy the delights of the city with its wonderful restaurants, cafes and places of leisure.